If you're looking for professional day trading education and high level trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to give you exactly that professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And today we are going to be discussing quite a few things. Today was a huge day, massive red day in the market. Ended up shorting SPY down for a total from best entry to best sell for 372%. Absolutely phenomenal day. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to fire up these charts. I hope you all had an absolutely great day. I got to do that just in case. And let's do this. Okay, so now that we are into the charts, folks, let's go over a few different things. So this morning, where we were and where we opened up, we actually gapped down, and we gapped down, and it was still above the 20 SMA on SPY. So there still is a chance that it can easily hold and push through, especially because we are starting to pull back. We're at lows. This is why it got bought up after it sold off like that. So what I usually do in these situations is that I will take a feeler trade. That's what I call it. I'm just testing the waters to see exactly how we're going to trade, what it's going to do. Is it going to hold? Is it going to fuck around, consolidate? Is it going to push up? What is it going to do? It's not a big trade. It's just a trade to basically dip your toes. Now, I don't recommend people doing this if you're very new to trading. It's something more of it's just a tactic, right? It's something that I will do for strategy, just strategic wise. And this was a very small trade. Did not get the best entry at all. I kind of fucking fumbled this one, but entered into it. Didn't get the best entry, so I waited. Okay, so that first sell that you see here, that's actually a fat finger. And that was on cues as it washed down, coming down into pre-market support. That's kind of the first area of pre-market support that we could potentially hold. There's an old gap fill there as well. So I was just basically testing the waters. So only locked in 50 bucks. Don't care if I consider that scratch. So then on SPY actually popped up, and I missed the short here this morning. I was actually a little distracted this morning. And once it sold off, though, and this is one of the things that I talk about a lot, is there's no real such thing as a missed opportunity. That shit's all up in your head. So if you miss that, you don't focus on the miss. Who cares? Wait for the next main trade, a trade that is either coming down into resistance, or if you miss the long and you have to wait for the short, you will wait for the resistance to come up instead of the support, vice versa, basically, right? So on that trade there, that was actually a really nice trade. I believe it was that one. Yep. So long right down into the level. And because this was low of day, so this is yesterday's lows, there will be buyers there. Okay. Now, again, that's something that can be a little hard to explain. Not that you wouldn't understand that. It's an experience thing. You know, when certain levels will have some sort of an effect, there will be a bounce, there will be buyers there. It's kind of the last level at it's like its last stand. Okay. So if people are protecting their long positions, right? Retail or institutions, they're going to protect that, meaning you will have volume at that level. And that's exactly what happened. We got a little bit of a bounce and locked in. Now, the reason why this was so quick and you don't see any other exits on this, didn't give a fuck about it anymore. And I called this one out, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so on Q so then you guys can see it as well. So I have um, a tactic that I use. I call it trend formation. It's something that I've discussed through the years here on this channel, and it's a way to capture the short if it doesn't pop into resistance first. Now, part of it though is SPY did actually test resistance first. Its first directional pick was up. It rejected. That is a showing in weakness. That's part of it. There's lots of pieces to the puzzle with this. So as it comes down and holds support, pops back up, and same with Qs. Qs ended up coming, and this is kind of the key right here. It actually broke through pre-market lows. That's its last line of defense. Now, it didn't break it by a lot. It's only a little bit. As it comes up, it's coming right into a level of resistance. Okay. That's a very drilled down version of trend formation. It's something that I will probably be touching on a little bit in our free webinar on entries, exits, how to pay yourself, all of that tomorrow evening, right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. East. Okay. We're going to be going live. It's going to be an hour-long webinar. I'm not going to hold anything back. The link to RSVP is going to be in the description as well as pinned comment. So make sure you guys RSVP for that if you haven't done so already. So that is where the big trade began right here. That's the first entry on the trend formation. It gave multiple areas to get involved with it. I took every single opportunity I could on this one. This is something that when I see it and I know like this is it, it's one of those trades. Okay. So I'm going to use size, but I don't use size how most people use size. I don't use size to hold all the way down. I use size to capture that first move because first rule of trend formation is you need to pay yourself back down into support. Now, generally, probably 7, 8 times out of 10, maybe even 9 times out of 10, I will not use trend formation if there's support. But it is already proven through Qs it wants to come lower. Plus, we gap down. There's a few key components to this one to where normally I wouldn't take it because there's still support there. Usually you have to wait for support to break and then come up, and then you can short that. I didn't wait for that. And it has to do with quite a few different things. And maybe I can do a full blown video if people are interested later on, but that will take a solid 20, 30 minutes to go over. And I don't feel we have time for that tonight. So on that, executed, and I still locked in and paid myself. Do you see right here where all of that size is being stripped out? That's important. And that's what I'm talking about. I may use size in my trades. Rarely are you going to see, even though this was an absolutely monster short, like from my entries to my best sell is 372% in 1 hour of the market open without holding overnight, without doing anything crazy or risky. I strip out all my size first. And that's the key to this. I don't need to make $100,000 in a trade. It is about consistent gains. Now, normally I would say small, consistent gains, which is true. I mean, I wouldn't consider a $10,000 trade a small trade, but there's a lot of people that will basically, roll their eyes at 10 grand in the market because they get so confused by these absolute losers out here that are trying to tell you something that they have no fucking clue what they're talking about, and it's a real shame. So that was the monstrous trade. So on the last trade on that long, I locked in 3,500. First feeler trade, $50. This trade locking in just under 10 grand. And now I want to talk about a trade that members actually had. There's a few members that had some real issues with. Now, on this one here, and I consider this one, it's slightly green. And to be honest, I probably should have been red on it, but it was not a large position down here. As it's coming down into this level, I'm just working peaks and valleys. That's all I'm doing. Okay. And they're very small trades, and it's coming down into support levels that I would start averaging in. But once it bounces, I have to pay myself. And then it comes straight down into this level. Now I want to zoom in because this is so important. Now, normally I don't like sharing stuff like this for free on YouTube. I'd rather hold this back for my members, but I think it's an important lesson that if I can save people from blowing up and damaging their accounts, I'm going to fucking do it. So here's the problem on this trade. From here to here is your distance. Now, it didn't have a big retracement. Now, what happened here when it comes into this level, that is a valid level. Okay, so right there is this red day's lows. If you look at the daily chart right there, you also have a main trend, and that is right here. It is a tight, tight, tight fucking range. Real tight, man. And people are not recognizing that it has stopped. This is essentially a bounce. Now, it didn't bounce that much. It's very minor because it got trapped in its range. So, what members did is they didn't consider this a bounce. Not all of them, some of them. And then once this candle comes down, you don't stop out on that one. This one opens as soon as it clears lows. You have to get out. That is true confirmation that this thing is going to continue to sell off. All morning, I kept saying how weak this market was. And you're looking, even though maybe we don't necessarily want to go long, it is still strategy. We can't pick and choose what longs we go with. If we open up and we sell off essentially straight down, and that's a long ways down, man. Like this chart's kind of deceiving. That's all the way up here at 568.50, straight down to 565. Like that's a long ways. It's a lot. It's 3 points, right? So on that, we enter into the level. It comes down here. You can add on the wash, and then it's basically bouncing, but it's trapped. It's trapped in its range. And the problem is members hold. They do this to themselves. And I'll tell you why. One of the biggest issues that traders have is cutting a trade. And you have to dissect why they're having problems cutting that trade. It's not because you'll hear people say it's because they don't want to take a loss. No, fuck that. That's not it. It's deeper than that. What it is, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Bear with me because this, like I said, this lesson's really important here, folks. I'm going to really stretch this out. So if we have that range, it's it's holding that support right in here, and it breaks that. Okay, right there. Next candle opens. As soon as it confirms it wants lower, you need to stop the fuck out. That's exactly what you need to do. They don't want to get out because what if? What if I get out and it does this? It's a problem. And it's because they're constantly thinking that they will miss something. Like I said earlier, there's no such thing as a miss. You need to be able to cut these trades. So then I'll show you what you would be looking for directly after this. So let's say you got out right here and immediately 1 second later it bounced. And you're like, oh, fuck. Relax. Because if it's truly strong, let's say it comes up to here. Well, you would still be red on that trade. Let's say it failed there. Well, you're still red, right? Okay. Maybe a little less red, but you're still red. On this, maybe it comes to here. Well, most likely you're still red. Maybe a little green, but not by much. What you're looking for, if it's truly strong, if it's really going to bounce, it's going to come up, it's going to pull back, and it's either going to remount and bounce here, or at the lowest you would want to see it is that trend. And if it gets trapped in there, it might take a little bit to squeeze. This is your go signal. That is your next opportunity. The problem is when you're in a position and you're debating whether or not to stop out, you don't think this will ever happen. And it's because you're not trusting the process, you're not trusting technicals, you're not trusting education, and you're not giving yourself enough credit. You're scared to get out of that trade. It's not, people say this shit all the time, and I know I've already said this, but it's like, oh, people just don't want to cut it because they don't want to take a loss. No, that's not it. That's only a part of it. The main reason is they're scared that they get out here and right there, 1 second later, it bounces. Well, If it's truly strong, again, it's going to come up, it'll blast through that resistance, previous support, and it will give you a nice controlled pullback into either this level or this level. Go long. That's your reset. That's your redemption trade. It will happen, guys. Okay. And again, it's something that I see far too many traders do because they're not focused on what they should be focused on. This here, it is holding, guys. This is a bounce. In your mind, you're telling yourself it's not a bounce because you're trying to dictate to the market how much a bounce is. Do you see what I'm saying? Just because a bounce is this much doesn't negate from the fact that it is, in fact, a bounce. It's a bounce. You have to recognize it's holding that trend support. It's coming into that low of day resistance. It's a tight range. It bounced. It just couldn't get through. It's rejecting. It just hasn't fully rejected, so you can't stop out yet. It bounced. Just not a lot. Just not as much as you wanted, right? And right there, I cut it right there. Just like I explained in chat. Once it breaks, once it breaks, don't stop out on this candle. Don't do that. On that candle there. Just because that breaks doesn't mean it can't scoop right back up. You have to wait for true confirmation. And what I just explained, once this next candle opens and it continues, get the fuck out, man. You got to get out. So we're going to be going over lots of this stuff in tomorrow's webinar. So again, tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. East, we're going to be going live right here on YouTube and on X. Don't miss it. This is a banger of a webinar. And I think we might be having a special guest that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be great. So if you want to learn how to come take trades just like this, even when they don't work out, you are professionally trained in order to handle it. Come to tricktrades.com. One more note, don't go anywhere yet. If you have signed up or you know someone that is signed up at Tricktrades, but it is a Discord channel, you are getting scammed. That's not me. Get the fuck out of there. If he's selling you funded accounts, that ain't me. I haven't done that in probably 7 years. Get out of it. You're getting fucked. And if you're okay with getting fucked because you have access to audio, you're fucking retarded. So yeah, you're retarded. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Come to tricktrades.com. We will see you tomorrow. Adios.